Well, we have had a particularly, well, both Hungarian riders out of the race here.
It's the whole team gone.
We've had a particularly exciting World Cup season with the 9 different winners in 9 different races. With, if you're being a bit picky about it, Chantal Blaak has won 2 of them because she was part of Specialized Lululemon in Sweden. But 9 different winners altogether. It shows that women's cycling is not only about Marianne Vos anymore. There is so many other fantastic riders here.
It's been a terrific year for the women, without doubt. And here's another new name for us in Spila Kern, out on the attack now. She's been given ahead just for the moment. Good tempo riding at the front again now. They're not going to allow Spila Kern too much of a lead, I don't think, as they go out on this 4th circuit, halfway around it now.
There's Roxanne Knetemann out of the race. She was also the first one to get dropped in the team time trial.
Yeah.
And she's not happy. Her mother is set up beside us. She has been in the entire week on this same spot, watching all the racing, whether it's her own daughter or not. 10 years ago, Roxanne lost her father.
Well, we're giving her 40 seconds from the race just at the minute. Spila Kern. That's the biggest we've had so far.
Here's Stevens. Still there at the back of the pack.
And still no real chase on here to bring her back. It's going to be decision time soon, though. They won't give her too much of a lead on this course. 63 kilometers out. Peloton has shriveled up to around about 70 women here. They're swinging up the road. Heading up towards the top of the Mirador climb again. Okay, still keeps at it, plugging away. Catch me if you can. It's up to 9 seconds now. Our clock always seems to be slightly at variance with the race referee's timing. I suspect that our clock is a little bit more accurate. This is where we are now. We're heading up to the 8% sections of the climb of Confederation. Average gradient 3.3%. You'll find that most of the women are riding on the front chain wheels on these climbs. And there's a rider from Great Britain just crashed down there.
Ooh.
It's a bike on the floor. This is the Canadian team. They've lost all of their riders bar one. And
oh, this is Elena Cecchini.
The British girl, I think.
Oh.
Well, this is difficult. This is Cecchini, Elena Cecchini, and I think the British girl got straight back on a bike and is gone. We might be able to see something more here.
This is very unlikely places to crash.
This is happening all of the time. There is the British girl, and it is Annie Last on the left. She got up pretty quickly and she jumped straight onto her bike.
Very young rider, 14 GB, Annie Last. And Elena Cecchini taking a little bit more time to get on the bike. She won the junior or the young rider classification in the World Cup. Was on the podium in Chongming Island, which is a sprinter race in China, where Kirsten Wild won it ahead of Cecchini then and Giorgia Bronzini.
Well, they should both rejoin. Now I think we picked up, while we're watching all that, the Slovenian girl Kern.
We did, and the Dutch riders are putting some pressure on there. Lizzie Armistead coming to the front.
That's number 40. There's Anna Christian down there as well.
And Evelyn Stevens from the back of the peloton now. She's all the way at the front. Also Tatiana Ryabchenko. Speaking of Chongming Island, she won that race in 2013. She was leading in an attack when the entire peloton was diverted in the wrong way. That's how she won that World Cup event. It was a setup, Phil. They did agree on this, and now it's a flurry of attacks going on. Will we finally have a race on our hands? Chantal Blaak coming there at the right side of the road. We haven't seen much of Marianne Vos so far.
No, we don't know about her form even before she was involved in that second lap crash. Now Powers has gone straight through the pack. That was her job done, to try and create this kind of a reaction in favour of her team. She's gone right out the back. She's the woman in the far distance there.
It looks like Katarzyna Niewiadoma from Poland, but I'm not completely sure. Oh, well, this is how easy it can happen.
Not clever.
And Solovay is still there. She said in a press conference that riding in the Ukraine is absolutely very difficult at the moment. There's no funding. She cannot ride abroad. She cannot ride any races abroad because there's absolutely no money in the Ukraine. And moreover, there's a war going on. And we have rain.
There is.
Oh my.
It looks like we do have rain out on the back of the circuit. They're nearer that black cloud than we are down here at the finish, but it's exactly what they forecast on the last two laps, and this would turn the descent into a skid pan, as it's just wetting the surface at the moment for these riders.
And look at how small this group is now becoming.
29 kilometers to go. Next time check will be at the top of the Mirador climb for us, but there's only 68 riders left in the whole spread of the race here now, and at this peloton a lot fewer than that. Looks as though the rain started out there a little while ago.
Yeah, there's already some water down on the roads, which is not good.
Yeah.
I have seen my fair share of crashes today. I don't want any more carnage going on.
Well, they're going to face a very nervous last two laps if this rain continues, with the two very tricky descents which have claimed the riders throughout the week on dry roads.
And the Willemsen is the New Zealand rider up front. And she's doing a pretty solid job there.
There's 60 riders down in that pack. And an attack again. This is another attack by Great Britain here.
Oh, look at how wet the roads are here.
Absolutely raining. The rain does come down heavily when it starts, and it started to come really heavily now.
All the way up the front is Lucinda Brandt. She is a master technician. She is very good on the bike, can go downhill like a rocket. It's very good steering capabilities. So this might be a good race for her. She might pull a Plouet, as I call it, So she says herself that she's not going to do that. She's not going to jeopardize the chances of Marianne Vos. But how good is Marianne Vos? We had doubts before the race, and then she went down as well earlier on. It's all a waiting game at the moment.
Well, she's gambling just now. She's up near the front, but she's still not doing any pushing of the pace. And it looks to me as though we might be just riding out of that shower on that part of the course.
Attacked by a Team GB rider on the right side of the road.
Well, this is now the 1-2 from GB. They're all trying to soften the race.
Condolar. No, of course not.
No, she's gone.
She's gone. I saw an Orica AIS helmet and I hoped it was, but it's not. It's Hannah Barnes for Team GB.
Looks over her shoulder. No reaction, but a clear, and that was an illusion because those roads are absolutely soaking here. And the weather itself, this is a new challenge for the women now. 28 kilometres.
This is Sari Saralainen, one of the two Finnish riders.
Going up to the rise in the distance.
Well, it's not the rise that's bothering me, it's more the descent that is
Absolutely.
giving me a little bit of sweaty hands here.
It's here every lap where the riders in the men's race attacked and split the field, and the women are doing the same.
This is Anna Solovey. Looks like it.
She's the rider from the Ukraine.
Followed
Absolutely
by
miserable.
Followed by
miserable conditions here. Well, they're saying this is Tatiana Ryabchenko from the Ukraine. Same team as Solovey.
Oh, well, they're both still in this peloton.
Yeah.
Both Ukraine riders.
Oh, not surprisingly, the race officials shooing away all of the vehicles in front of the race because of the rain now. And what could happen on the way down as we push on towards the top of Confederation. This is Australia gritting their teeth. I think it's Australia, can't quite see. Yes,
it is Australia,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure, but this looks to me like it is Rachel Neylan.
I am thinking the exact same thing.
She's put the move in here. The woman who won the silver medal 2 years ago when she last rode these championships and it's been confirmed now. It is Rachel Neylan who's put in the move for Australia, gritting her teeth and jumping clear as conditions are getting quite bad. Now she won't, even though she got the silver medal a couple of years ago, she won't be totally marked by the favourites, but she's certainly too dangerous to allow to run. Rachel Neylan gritted her teeth there, kicked in the rain. 26 now. This is the little tricky bit as we make our twists and turns through the chicanes, down to the dam again. And that right-hand corner, which has proved treacherous enough to a few riders when it's been totally dry. And it looks as though Rachel is respecting the road surface there, and so too the peloton. This is the penultimate lap of the Elite Women's Road Race Championship of the world. And it's the Australian Rachel Neylan. She rode a brilliant World Championships when she finished second 2 years ago. It was a surprise then, but the way she rode it, it shouldn't have been. She was very, very good. Over the Kouberg, which is a famous hill in the Little Switzerland sector of the Netherlands, down Valkenburg. Now we're coming up to that right-hander. Caution, the watchword.
Of course, she is with the Australian Institute of Sports now.
Peloton coming around that same corner now. They all need to exercise caution here. Lean that bike over just a little bit too far and it'll slide away. Well, I guess that's why our camera's stuck there, to make sure everybody's safely around. It looks like they are now as they go across the dam and heading on towards the climb. up Mirador, and that'll bring us then over to the finish again, and then the bell. Still a lot of riders in contention. Neyland trying to draw the sting, perhaps in favour of Tiff Cromwell, because she said she was very happy to be in the team and to be a team player. This could be a great move. Now she continues to drive on. Just got the climb of the Mirador. It's a lovely springboard if you can get a few seconds up it. As they drop down to the other side into the last kilometre and a half. Peloton a little bit ragged at the tail now. Fractured her pelvis on 2 occasions the year after she got that silver medal, and now she's fighting her way back in big time. She used to be a pretty good hurdler and a rower before she started racing a bike back in 2007.
Pretty happy to be back with the Australian Institute of Sports and head coach Martin Barris, and it shows that the Australian National Cycling Federation have confidence in her, and she proves that they were justly so. Great move, bold move I must say, but great move, and the chasing is now not up to the Australians, so that leaves Tiffany Cromwell in a good position, trying to take as much recovery as she can possibly get in that peloton, so she has to do absolutely no work. It's down to the Italians, it's down to the Dutch as well. And
the British, who appear to have at least 2 women there, able to ride with Lizzie Armitstead. Back to the action here, inside 5 kilometres to the end of the circuit, and then out onto the final lap. This hurts, but she's got to keep the pressure on. Nearly over the top here, keep going. And I reckon those 2 gentlemen shouted to her in English the way she reacted.
Well, you can almost see lactic acid coming out of her ear. She is hurting badly here. Marianne Vos is there. Marianne Vos is there with Bronzini, with Ratto.
Lichtenberg,
there she is.
Johansson.
All the riders, and Shelley Olds. Shelley Olds is a very dangerous rider to take to the line. For Poland, it is Katarzyna Niewiadoma in this group, the rider for Rabo Liv, and Rossella Ratto. Then we see
Black, Ratto, they were the 2 to launch the attack. Neyland in the mix again, and there she is.
Here they are, Rachel Nyland, Rossella Ratto, Katarzyna Niewiadoma, Chantal Blaak. 4 riders. Is it Lizzie Armitstead bridging? No, it's not.
No,
she's in that main group. Let's see who's bridging. It might be Claudia Lichtenberg for Germany.
No, pretty certain it is.
There she is.
Lichtenberg comes across.
You might know her as Claudia Hausler. She recently got married this year.
And the Polish woman in that break, Katarzyna Niewiadoma, she was involved in the accident.
Very young rider, very promising young climber. They sure scout them well at the Dutch team.
Well, the pressure is really on now as they came around and past that hotel again, heading out towards the last approach towards Confederación. Chantal Blaak piling the pressure on here. It's going to be a fight to the death on the climb going up this time, that's for sure. Lichtenberg is the German who just tagged on the back.
Only
Niewiadoma here in 2nd place.
Only 90 years young, the Polish rider, very promising young star, scouted by Rabobank Liv. Rossella Ratto, of course, she won the stage to Bedford in the Friends Life Women's Tour in pouring, absolutely appalling weather. And she did well, keeping off the chasing peloton there.
That might be the situation when they get back out on the climb here. Still, as we look back here, Neylan was the one that started it all. Number 63, Lichtenberg on the left was the last to join. Ratto is taking them around the corner, followed by Chantal Blaak, who was part of the team time trial, and this is a crucial moment now, and the referees, I can tell you, are screaming at the motorcycles who are going to have to leave this gap alone.
Of course, Rachel Neylan already gave a lot of energy in that solo attack she did before, so it's pretty good that she's still in this group. But Rossella Ratto is giving a good impression here for the Italians, as does Chantal Blaak. Not even a month ago, just a month ago, she won the World Cup in Sweden. And that World Time Trial title, Team Time Trial title, gave her wings, gave her a lot of confidence. Comes from the West Country near Rotterdam. So we have about 36 minus 3, 33 riders in this group.
I'm not too sure, we haven't swept them all up, because our cameras went to the back there, and I've got a feeling we're looking at the whole race here.
And now we have a discussion between the Germans.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? Lizzie Armitstead there.
Now, for the first time we get a real feeling of this climb here, 10% at this point.
Marianne Vos is there with Ellen van Dijk on her wheel. Michael Polspoel for Belgium. Mayuko Hagiwara.
Riders.
Oh, it's the other Japanese rider again. I'm sorry. Linda Willemsen is just looking like she's doing a little cyclo-sportif there.
She's looking very calm on the left. She's the woman in the black colours of New Zealand. Not looking under pressure at all just now.
Of course, she's all on her own here in this group, but she has been at the front the entire race. Well, these chasers, they have to make a decision soon. Because with our 4 leaders.
There's a balloon.
Oof.
Well, I'm not convinced that we haven't caught them. I think we might have caught them, you know. Our cameras have gone away from them. I think this is the whole field here.
I think you might be right.
Going on to the steeper slopes of the Confederation. There was 2 of the women in that front group who have lost their transponders.
Here's Lauren Hall, also a former world champion here.
Yeah, Gudetze wants some service in the back of the race here, got a problem.
And Bronzini.
Yeah.
Both world champions. Gudetze won some stages in France recently for Ale Cipollini.
Giorgia Bronzini, she's won the title twice. She's been in at the kill a few times in a world championship. Number 1 has slipped towards the rear of the pack at the moment. Her teammates have gone back with her.
Here's Marianne Vos, followed by Gudetze, Ellen van Dijk. A little bit indecisiveness at the moment. It all comes down to these 2 climbs.
I think they're going to ride back into the rain as well, looking straight ahead there. Fight back into the thick of it, and caught at the back once again is the French woman.
Well, this is not Ferrand-Prévot. This is, I think this is Delcenne.
No, she's just up in the front there.
Ferrand-Prévot is blonde. And Morris.
A little counter-attack once more.
Is it Armitstead? No, it's not Armitstead. Armitstead is there at the front, trying to bridge there on the left side of the road.
I think that's Armitstead now, trying to get across the gap.
It's Longo Borghini. Longo Borghini with Audrey Cordon. Should be Audrey Cordon for France.
Trying to control, coming back together slowly, but not. These women all seem to be equal ability now. There's nobody being dropped from the back on these attacks. Back into the rain again as we kick onto the steeper part of the climb here. This is where the rain hit them last time. They're going to have the same old descent on the wet.
Australia, followed by Vos.
It's Neylan again on the front here. I think it looks like the riding style perhaps of Tiff Cromwell there.
It's Lisa Brenner in second position. And I think she can be in for a double today, though she has already done a lot of work. A double title, of course. But all the doubts we had before about Marianne Vos, well, I think she's proven that she is all right here. And she said you can always have a bad day, of course, referring to the fact that she got dropped in the team time trial. And she has withdrawn from races recently, but she's up here in the midst of the action.
As so often the case, the media are very keen to reverse the trend and write everybody off with one bad performance.
Of course.
That's how they earn their money, I guess. But this is Marianne Vos here. She lands this one, it'll be our 4th world title and her 3rd in a row. The only other person to do that was Jenny Longo, the dominating French woman, if that's to be the way it is. Still riding here at 65 kilometers now, heading down to the final turn onto the dam wall. The last lap, an Italian rider has always fallen on this turn the last 2 races. Let's hope it's not going to happen here.
Vos takes a little bit of a gap on that descent. Of course, she's a very skilled bike rider, being a cyclocross and also a mountain biker.
She's safely around and kicks out to make the rest chase her. Through the tunnel, heading for the last climb of the Mirador, and that's where they say if you can get 10 seconds up this climb, you could win this championship. That's what happened yesterday in the under-23 men. Forced to...
The riders we can see there, but all the way there in front of the Ukrainian woman, it must be Giorgia Bronzini. Well, we see an attack by Emma Johansson. Emma Johansson.
Big dig for Sweden now. Johansson, one of the most podium girls in the world of cycling. A little bit of a split, because we've also got the woman in black dropping back a little bit too. She's gritting her teeth, but there's not a big gap here. We're almost over the top of the climb.
That is Elisa Longo Borghini, Emma Johansson, Lizzie Armitstead, and Ferrand Prevot is not far back, but for the moment we have Armitstead, Vos, Longo Borghini and Emma Johansson.
2 top women of this year's cycling scene going head to head up the last climb. Armitstead looks over her shoulder. She sees the #1 cyclist right on her back wheel.
Ferrand Prevot is trying to bridge there with Rossella Ratto, but it's proving difficult.
No, Prevot hasn't got it there. She wants a little bit of help as we go over the top. Armitstead, Vos, Longo Borghini, Johansson, Ferrand Prevot. There's a little bit of gap, only 4 seconds. But now they're going to have to race down, or they let these women get back into the action with them. Nobody helping Lizzie Armitstead down towards the last couple of kilometers.
Well, these are 4 grand stars of women's racing. These are 4 World Cup winners. Though Elisa Longo Borghini didn't win one this year. She won Trofeo Binda last year, but Marianne Vos won in Bochum. Lizzie Armitstead won the Ronde van Drenthe. Emma Johansson won Trofeo Binda. They have been on top of their form all year, and now they're leading with 4K to go into Ponferrada.
The gap is there. They've got 12 seconds. They say if you can get 10, you can win the race from over the top of that climb, and there's the gap. Now they've got to help each other, even though they don't want to. Armitstead looks round. There's help. Marianne Vos goes through. Longo Borghini, she picks it up as well, and then dropping in at the back is Johansson. Doesn't seem quite so willing to pick up the pace. 3.5 kilometres to go. There's 2 riders chasing. One of those is the great French hope. An attack by Johansson. It wasn't a miss of turn. It was a wait for the moment.
This is an all-or-nothing attack by the Swedish champion Emma Johansson, and it's now up to Vos to close that gap with Armitstead and Elisa Longo Borghini on her wheel. What an exciting final this is.
Well, this is a huge chance now. Emma Johansson, the woman who more often than not is the almost one. She gets the medals but doesn't get the victory, but right now she's got the gap.
No,
the other 3 women maybe not really wanting to chase here. They're going to argue amongst themselves, I think. They're going to see 2 kilometres to go soon. It looks to me as though they're opening the gap with that flurry of attacks over 2 chasers. One is the French woman,
and the other is Lisa Brennauer.
Ferrand-Prévot and Lisa Brennauer.
Well, they kind of dropped Giorgia Bronzini, who's in that chasing group. They dropped Shelley Olds, they dropped the fast riders, and now they're down to 4. And if it comes down to a sprint, well, Marianne Vos has won quite a few sprints. I remember La Course, where she beat against all odds Kirsten Wild, the top sprinter, because she wanted it. She wanted that victory so bad on the Champs-Élysées, and now she is on her way to Emma Johansson.
Another decisive day in the life of this great Dutch cyclist. There's no doubt about that. Since
Back together.
2006, she's never been outside the first 2 finishes.
Well,
and there's an attack, and Longo Borghini decides she can't live with this in the sprint. She's going to go.
Very well marked.
How alert was
Very
Marianne
well
Vos then?
She is awake. She is awake and happening. Lizzie Armitstead having to pass a little bit here.
They still have a 12-second gap, and frankly, it could be enough with this quality of rider at the front. Vos has got over to Longo Borghini.
But they can't look at each other with a 12-second gap. This is not a waiting game. They cannot look at each other now. They have to decide what they're going to do. They cannot wait for Ferrand-Prévot and Lisa Brennauer.
Well, this is like a track finish here now. Armitstead realises
Lizzie Armitstead is trying to get to the front.
Because here they come, right behind. They're going to close
and Bronzini is there. Bronzini is there, just like Shelley Olds is there. That is very dangerous. They have to keep riding.
2 riders behind are 2 of the top sprinters here. Marianne Vos knows they're coming. She's seen them coming. She's not reacting because she keeps looking at the kilometre sign. It's too far to jump. They virtually turned this off. They've let the sprinters back in this race. Now she's gone again, almost as they come. She's almost tempting them to come and take the lead.
Bronzini is there and Shelley Olds is there. Don't let them come back, but they are coming back.
They are back.
They are back. And is it again Bronzini against Vos, the arch nemesis against each other?
Well, through the inside in third wheel goes Tiffany Cromwell as they line this up for the finish now. And Lisa Brennauer is in the perfect position here. Vos knows now she's going to have to show the other facet of her great cycling career, the sprint. As Bronzini's going to launch first, and she sensed it, and Marianne Vos has gone first. There's the 300 metres to go now. Bronzini trying to take this one, but Marianne Vos is finding a special pair of legs here. Tiff Cromwell has been washed away. Prévot, Ferrand is coming. Ferrand-Prévot is taking them on here. Emma Johansson and Bronzini on the right, and it hits the line, and my goodness me, Ferrand-Prévot has taken it on the line. She has completed the most amazing season. Well, they led her back and she made them pay. What an incredible finish. So Pauline Ferrand-Prévot gets the line, and there was a big split there. Johansson was close. It's gone to the photo, but I think Brennauer might have taken the silver medal there, but the French woman got the gold. Well, that's what happens. All the favourites slipped away. They watched each other. And they came back into the action, and Ferrand-Prévot, who at times really struggled there, delivered the sprint.
But I forgot to add her sprint skills. Marianne Vos was completely cooked there. And Pauline Ferrand-Prévot seems to be out of this world, and now she realizes she is the world champion. Pauline Ferrand-Prévot, champion du monde, you are the world champion.
She won the Flèche Wallonne at the start of the year. She won the Road Race Championship of France. The 3rd time she won the Time Trial Championship. She was 2nd in the Tour of Italy. Earlier on, she won the National Cross Country Championship. She won the National Cyclocross Championship, mountain bike and off-road road bike, and now the World Championship.
And the winner of the bronze medal, Emma Johansson from Sweden.
So for the second time in her career, Emma Johansson steps up to take the bronze medal. The last time was in Geelong in Australia. And she did well to hold on in the sprint there, because she was one of the 4 riders that were caught at the kilometre point. And continuing the success of the Scandinavian countries here this week. Denmark, Norway, Sweden, all taking medals. Well, Lisa Brenner dreamt of rainbows, and she won the rainbow jersey in the time trial, and now she gets the silver medal here in the road race.
En segunda posición, ganadora de la medalla de plata, Lisa Brenner, Alemania.
The medal will be presented by Tracy Godley, Vice President of the Union Cyclist International.
Germans continue their resurgence in the World Championship road cycling, because that medal keeps them on top of the leaderboard. It's their second silver, and they already have 3 golds. Gold and the silver won today.
Well, keeping the title, keeping the rainbow jersey on the team. She's going to be with the team for another 2 years, until the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro.
So to the woman who's now done it all this year, on the road, on the mud, on the mountain bike. She's champion of them all, not all at world level of course, but she's the French champion of all of the disciplines. Now she's the world champion in the road race.